What's up guys, it's Bebe. Welcome back to my channel. So today we're gonna do my Lost Lands recap and review. Thank you for being patient with me on this one. I went on holiday right after Lost Lands this year, so I wanted to wait to film this until I got back because I was editing vlogs the whole week after Lost Lands. So I hope you guys enjoyed those. So much fun editing them, and yeah, today we're going to talk about the experience as a whole, the pros, the cons, all that good stuff. Also, you will see I am in a new setup. I am still in my same apartment, but I actually moved into the other bedroom because my roommate moved out. And so if it looks different, that's why. I'm still kind of getting things situated. This room is a lot bigger, so I still need to buy like furniture and stuff to fill it a bit more, but that is what's different. Be sure to check out the vlogs if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for all the awesome feedback on them, and I hope you enjoyed them. This recap will probably be quite similar to last year's recap, so I'm gonna try and focus specifically on pros and cons from this year. So bear with me if anything is repetitive, but let's just jump in. Weather and terrain, so same as always. Lost Lands is very rocky, it's very hilly. The dust was really rough this year. As you guys saw in the vlogs, I did lose my voice. I honestly still sound a little bit raspy, I feel like, so I don't know, maybe the dust and the dirt was worse than usual, but it really killed my throat. And all my friends afterwards, like a bunch of us were coughing for over a week, so definitely something to consider. But overall, the temperature was lovely. It was like warm during the day and then chilly at night, so it was perfect festival weather where you can just like bundle up and be comfy at night. Lots of hoodies, jerseys, beanies, pashminas. That's just like my favorite kind of weather for festivals. As far as transportation goes, because if you haven't seen the vlogs or my vlogs from last year, I do not camp at Lost Lands personally. I stay in a hotel and I take the Dino Express, which is like their shuttle system from downtown Columbus to Legend Valley. So I have to say, this year the one con about that was that it was really messy on the first day. I have to say most of the cons I'm gonna mention in this recap have to do with just like how crowded Lost Lands was this year in comparison to last year. There were definitely way more people. They for sure increased the capacity because they expanded the grounds a little bit. So I think that's just like what happened. But the first day with shuttles, the traffic was really bad getting into the festival, but the same thing happened last year on the first day. Everyone wants to get there early, it makes sense, but there were just so many shuttles and cars coming in that they couldn't let any more of them turn into the festival entrance because then it would block off the main road. So it was like we had to drive way further down that road, turn around, come back, which was just a really messy system, and it took us forever to get into the festival. Normally, I said this in the vlog, but normally like going from downtown Columbus to getting into Legend Valley, not just like arriving at the grounds, but getting into the festival, takes an hour. That's it. The first day, it literally took us 2.5 hours to get from the hotel inside the festival because so many people were going early on the first day. We wanted to be in at 3, we got in like 4:30. It was horrible. So I hope they figure out a different system for next year to accommodate that many people coming in on Friday. But yeah, it was a bit messy, but at the end of the day we got in, it was fine. And ultimately I love the shuttle system for Lost Lands now that I've done it twice. It's so easy. You pay 80 bucks I think for the whole weekend, and it gets you to and from. You never have to wait long for a bus. It's super clutch. So if you are considering staying in a hotel, definitely do the shuttle. Moving on to vibes. Lost Lands vibes are amazing as always. As you guys saw, I did bring Garrett this year, and he is not a bass head by any means, but he wanted to try it out, and he said that obviously the music was really out of his comfort zone, but he loved the festival just because the people are so nice and the energy is so good. So I think that speaks volumes to Lost Lands, and just everyone is kind. People are so fucking funny at Lost Lands. Like, my stomach was sore again this year from all of the laughter. People are just so creative with, I don't know, just like the costumes, the totems. Like, a lot of people have group costumes. The totems are hilarious. The gifts that people will give away in the crowd, overall 10 out of 10. My only con with the vibes this year is just because it was more crowded. Like, we dealt with a little bit of pushing in the crowd, but it was only really during Subtronics' set at main stage. It was so packed. I don't know if you guys noticed in my videos, but my main stage videos are always like front right, and that's because that's like our group's spot, because there's no cell service at Lost Lands, and that spot is really close to the front. You have a great view and it's easy to get to. That's why we pick it. Like, you don't need to have a totem or push through people. Like, it's easy peasy to get to. There's always tons of space, so that's why all my videos are from there. That's just where we like basically set up camp for the weekend for all of those sets. And it's always, even though it's so close to the front, you can just walk right up because there's always space. At Subtronics this year, it was so packed and it got really crowded, and people were still trying to like get in front of us, so there was some shoving, which was really annoying. And honestly, like, I left the set halfway through with G because we wanted to see Pendulum anyways, but when we were like leaving the stage and walking over there, I could not believe how crowded it was. It was insane. So there was a little bit of pushing, shoving, but at the end of the day, that was really it. Other than that, everyone is super kind and the vibes are great. So that's that on vibes. Vendors, same as last year, although this year my one complaint with the bars is that they changed the rule on how much alcohol you can buy for just yourself. And I was really confused. Like, they wouldn't let you buy more than one beatbox. They wouldn't let you buy more than one. They had like this canned drink. I forget what it was, but it was like 8%, 9% alcohol. I finally asked one of the bartenders on the third day. I was like, why can't I buy, like, because that's what you always do with like your friend group. You'll be like, oh, I'll go get you a drink, like, you stay here. So we couldn't do that. And I asked the bartender finally on the third day, and she said that they weren't allowed to sell you more than one if it was like a certain ABV or whatever it's called. So that kind of sucked this year, because last year we would like have one person go get drinks for people, and then this year like everyone had to show a wristband if they wanted a beatbox or something like that. So that was a little tricky and kind of irritating, but at the end of the day, I think it's for safety reasons, so I get it. Little small shops were pretty similar. The food was also good again this year. They have a lot of vegan options, so for my fellow vegan girlies, you're in luck with Lost Lands. Please get the vegan grilled cheese. And just like the grilled cheese in general, it's fucking bonkers. It's delicious. Honestly, better than island noodles. Security was once again very chill this year. Like I said in my 10 things I wish I knew before my first Lost Lands video, I wish I knew how easy it was to sneak in alcohol. Your girl was right again this year. I snuck in 3 cans of High Noon in my lunchbox, and they never checked it, even though it was visibly felt much heavier and it was cold from the cans. No problem. So I saved a lot of money on alcohol this year. Production and layout. Production was amazing again this year. The layout was basically the same, so not much to report, but definitely liked the upgrades to the stages. There were a lot more performers and more like production aspects that made the theme more immersive, which I really liked this year. That was definitely cool. The lineup, basically the same as last year. Excision's lineups, you know, often are very similar. The only thing is, for next year, I hope they bring more drum and bass, because that was really fun. And I also hope they keep moving up good artists to later time slots. So like, for example, Wooly this year was much later than his set last year, and the vibe was like completely different. It was, I mean, obviously he was great last year, but just at night this year, so much more fun, so much more epic. So I hope that they keep moving those artists later and later. Like Company, I really would love to see him more when the sun goes down. Kaiwachi, like all those kind of people. So yeah. Was VIP worth it? I covered this one when I had VIP. This year I actually just had GA instead of VIP, but because so many people in our group still had it, we just swapped wristbands to use the amenities. And I am gonna say this year VIP was kind of a letdown in terms of how crowded it was. It got really annoying when it came to using the amenities. Like, the bathroom lines were ridiculous in VIP. You had to wait so long. And I really hope that they don't, like, it was clear that they oversold VIP or gave out too many guest wristbands, and it just got really annoying. There were definitely not enough bathroom trailers for the amount of VIP wristbands. So I'm hoping next year that's an improvement, but it was shockingly different than last year. Like, last year there was always so much space in VIP, you could use the amenities really easily. This year you had to allow so much time to use those bathrooms because the lines were just ridiculous. Last thing I always cover is, would I go back? I will always want to go back to Lost Lands, so this is a definite yes. The vibes are just amazing. It's such a fun festival. I'm not sure if I will be returning next year specifically, just because I want to save some money towards new experiences, new festivals, new travel. And yeah, that's kind of my outlook with like EDC Orlando this year, for example. I am not attending. I just feel like I've done it more than once. I don't have as much FOMO missing it anymore, and I would rather go do some new experiences next year. So TBD if I'm going next year, but I definitely will return multiple times in the future if not. Lost Lands is awesome. It's an amazing festival and I highly recommend it to anyone. And yeah, that's it for this video, you guys. Please subscribe if you're not already. I make all kinds of festival content. Again, I hope you enjoyed all of the Lost Lands videos this year, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.